What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? We are here once again. This is Enter the Lab podcast for another special edition as we getting you ready. This is the pregame show. We're going to call it the pregame show before the college football semifinals. Yes, we have the Orange Bowl tonight, Notre Dame versus Penn State. We also get you ready for Wild Card Weekend, and we also discuss many things in the National Football League. So buckle up with your favorite crew on Thursday. It's time to enter the lab. What's up, everybody, to another episode of Enters the Lab podcast. It is your boy DT, and we got Lady E. Yes, I know some of y'all are coming up. You guys ain't seen DT in like 4 years. I had a lot
in
of
a decade.
In a decade, I had a lot of stuff with school going on, things like that. Also, was on vacation, wanted to spend time with my loved ones. Just get away and stuff. But I should be good. Unless something pops up. But it is good to be back. It is good to see some of my family members up here. E, what's going on?
Man, nothing. You know, we missing one of the family, but we understand. Him will be up here shortly. Had to handle his business as well. But welcome back, Innocence. Welcome back. We had a lot to kind of go over. We took a little break because, you know, again, we all want to spend time with our families and make sure we get in that Christmas and bring it in the New Year. So happy New Year, y'all. We're coming with bigger and better things again this season. Well, this upcoming season. But you already know it's our favorite time of the season. It's about to be that draft time, baby. Let's get it. Because, you know, the Senior Bowl is at the end of the month. No, the Western Shrine game is at the end of the month. Senior Bowl is literally the beginning of February. Then we have the Super Bowl, and then at the end of February is literally combine time. And then we're going to be discussing free agency, and then it's draft. So it's about to move. We're about to move.
most definitely. And I am still piecing together my big board for all the positions for the NFL draft. I'm currently digging a little bit deep in the tackle group right now, but so far so good. So I'm getting prepped up for the NFL draft season whatsoever.
Yes, we are ready. We're getting there. We are ready. I'm gonna draft y'all again another offensive tackle. Just saying.
Yeah, I probably won't even mind that. Look at past couple of weeks. But enough about that. Let's go ahead and talk about a little bit about the NFL as Black Monday has passed once again for this past season.
Yep.
And we already had a couple spots already open during the season, but we have new spots open currently now. We have seen the New England Patriots fire Romero after 1 year, which I talked to a lot of Patriots fans. I have a good friend. We did a podcast together, talk about New England. We kind of suspected the same things. Felt like a one and done situation for New England having Gerard in that spot. Then as we look around the other landscape, we also just seen the Raiders putting tabs on not only Antonio Pierce, but they also got rid of their GM as well. And also another GM candidate has also been released, which is Tennessee Titans with I think his name is Ron, the brother. We'll call him brother, and got released as well. So I'm gonna ask you this. And obviously I mentioned a couple of those because they're within our ethnicity. When it comes to African Americans in these roles of power for these organizations, we have seen for the past couple of years, obviously teams have been using the Rooney Rule for
Yeah.
just the gain of just interviewing and just getting it done in a way so they can get the candidate at hand. At what point are we going to get to, once again, circling around this conversation, I will say, about African American executives, African American coaches at any spot just officially just don't even think about looking at any type of candidacy? I mean, I know currently right now there are some couple of candidates right now. One of the main ones is Aaron Glenn, the defensive coordinator, C. Henry's Detroit Lions. He's looking very favorable in a couple of spots. But at one point, are we going to be at a point where a lot of these spots that they're just not going to take a risk on? They're not going to take a risk of taking on these NFL roles, whether it's GM or just head coach, and probably just go down a level where it at least feels some type of security to them, giving an opportunity to build something of their resume.
I'll be honest, when the owners get out of that 1950s mentality that somebody of African American descent can't do it. I mean, to be honest with you, let's be real, and I'm just going to keep an open mind about this. Coaching in the NFL is very hard. No matter, if we look at it, no matter what race it is, but I feel like it's a harder for those of color, and just not African Americans. If we had a Latino, those of a different ethnic background than that of what the NFL is kind of made up of, it's going to be a little bit different because they put to me, it's like they put more pressure. Like you have more to prove, but the thing about it is, it starts at the top. You as the owner know what we can and cannot do. And then if I'm not paired with a good GM in a sense, and we're not seeing eye to eye, or I'm shouting out the Carolina Panthers, you got an owner that wants what he wants, then that's putting you in that bind because you're going to have to accept it. Because at the end of the day, you report to that person. Like you report to the owner, you report to whoever it is, how the organization is structured. But at the end of the day, you have to really sit back and think about it. It's a lot more pressure. And it's funny because majority of the players in the NFL are African American. So you would think it'll be a little bit easier because there's some type of connectivity and some connection there. But as we saw, like nobody's really given a chance. Even I know my fan base wants Raheem gone. They want him and Terry gone. Crazy. And, some people were calling for Ben Johnson. People were calling for other people. And I'm just like, to be honest with you, that's not Ra's fault. That's not Terry's fault. Again, we have to sit over here and draft better. We have to evaluate players better. We need to look at our scouting department. It's not just the coach. If they feel like they can get something out of these players, that's what you're going to get. It's all about potential. You know what I mean? Like you see potential and you think you can get it, but it's up to that player to show you that they can until they can't. So again, I just feel like it's a lot more pressure than it is on their counterparts to get something right, as the Falcons gave Arthur Smith 3 seasons and everybody won Ra gone within one. So that kind of just shows you where we're at, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I'm going to be completely honest. For the past couple of years, we have seen a large discrepancy when it comes to the time for these people to build these programs up. And we're seeing a lot of our brothers going out to these jobs where there is, quite frankly, no assurance that you will have that job longer than a year. I mean, we've seen Lovie Smith, and we've seen I can't even remember the guy's name before him, but those two African American coaches went to the Texans, and both of them were one and done, just to taint the Texans to get them where they are now. And I think that mindset is it's weird to me because you see other guys that are not even above average at coaching, and they are still at their team respectfully for 2 to 3 years, maybe even 4, or to the end of their contract. So I just feel like we are at a true disadvantage. And then even with the Titans situation, I've seen a lot of people come up there and slander him for all the things he did, but people are not even acknowledging the situation that he came to. John Robinson traded AJ Brown away, one of the best receivers in the league, and they just missed on draft picks. Now, did he miss on a couple? Probably so. But I think truly, if you really look at the players the one player that he couldn't fix, it was the quarterback position after Ryan Tannehill. You got Will Levis, and he's a young player, but there's definitely some things that they could do better at that position. But the amount of money they spent this offseason to add some things, and, there were some questionable things, but, they were putting at least something together, and he wasn't given a full time. But I think also because it was the rift with Mike Vrabel, and then apparently there's some rumors going on. There was a rift with Callahan as well. I just find some of this stuff is crazy, man. And quite honestly, like, we're seeing the college ranks and stuff like that. In a couple of hours, we're going to see Marcus Freeman and James Franklin play in the semifinals, and one of them will be the first African American head coach to coach in the national championship.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a huge milestone right there, but just pointing out that some of these African American coaches are getting better opportunities at the college level.
Yeah, and I mean, and the thing is, because I think on the college level, they're not really seeing that. They're looking at, can you coach? Can you bring us a national championship? Because, I mean, coaching kids is different than coaching adults, so I don't think it's a lot of pressure on there, because we have seen some coaches stay at schools for years and don't do anything on the college rank. So I think it's just more so, with them is, what can you do for us? Can you keep us in the conversation? And different things like that. So I do see, I want to point out, like, SMU, even though we know SMU's history from back in the Gap, SMU hasn't really been that top-notch school, and they've been, for the past 3 seasons, they've been popping out and showing folks, you know what I'm saying? Like, shout out to them, because they get a lot of people from South Dallas, from a lot of those Dallas-Fort Worth kids that can't go to those big schools. So shout out to them for even just finding the talent. But is that just kind of shows you the difference with the NFL. A lot of these teams haven't won Super Bowls for their whole entire history. And it's like, now it's getting to the point to where you're seeing a team like Kansas City get the right coaches, right players, and now they can possibly go back and grab another one. You know what I'm saying? Go back in 3-peat. So, and that's kind of making a lot of owners, i.e. Jerry Jones, kind of look crazy, because it's like, what are we doing wrong? But it's just, again, sometimes if you're not drafting right, sometimes you just don't have the coaches. Like, one year you may have the players, you may not have the coach. One year maybe this, one year is that. It's always something different when it comes down, and I think that's where a lot of owners in the NFL kind of lose that sight. It's like, again, you may have one year where you can do it, and it just may be a team that's just better than you. There's no foul to that. There's no harm to that. But at the same token, what can you do moving forward to fix what you had last year and build upon that to make yourself better? But a lot of people don't take that into consideration. So it is. I just think it's just a lot of pressure, and I think some of these owners are getting itchy in the pants and really want that win now mentality. And I don't think it's going to get them anywhere, but always cycling a coach every 3 to 4 years, maybe even every year. And that's not good for your organization, to be honest with you. I wouldn't want to play for that if I know I have to play for 2 or 3 or 4 coaches in my 4-year contract. I'm sorry. I don't, as a player, I don't want that. Take me to another organization that's a little bit more steady.
Yeah, I said all the right things. We're going to move it just a little bit. So since we're also talking about coaching, we talked about there's a couple of spots out there. Currently, we see vacancies. To me, I think as of right now, it is 6. So I'm going to ask you, in terms of when you look at these coaching spots, we're talking about cap space, we're talking about resources, and probably typically stars players just to add or something of interest to draw these coaches. At all these spots, you have New England Patriots, you have the Bears, you have the Jaguars, you have the Jets, the Raiders, and the Saints. Of those six spots, what do you think is the best case scenario for a coach to go to? Best situation, I would say.
I think the Raiders are actually number one coming into free agency this year with the most cap space. If I'm correct, I can't remember off the top of my head who is that, but definitely I would definitely say the Raiders. They always seem to find ways to have money, to have cap space available. I really do think that that's them. That will actually be that. Then I will honestly say the Bears will be next because you already have your quarterback of the future. You just really need a couple of pieces with the Bears, and I think the Bears also do have some good cap space room on there too as well. But and then this is where we kind of get a little tricky. New England, I will say New England has a good base with Drake, with Drake sitting there for their quarterback position. They do just need a couple of pieces. I think their cap space is kind of iffy with that, trying to really build that team. And then for me, it will kind of be like a tie with the Jets and the Jaguars. With New Orleans being last because New Orleans has a lot of cap issues going on right now. They got a lot of things that they have to think about. They got to think about what they're going to do with Derek Carr, or if they already have their quarterback in the organization, if that's Spencer Rattler or not. They have a couple of things that they really got to look at with New Orleans. But I will say, like, the tie would probably be between Jacksonville and the New York Jets because, again, they still have to figure out what they want to do with Aaron Rodgers. With that, Jacksonville Jaguars, they got Lawrence, they got Sunshine. Probably see what kind of rebuild that might be, or if they're just missing coaching in Jacksonville. But I will say the Raiders and the Bears will be my top two with that, and then following with the New England Patriots. But the Raiders and the Bears will be my top two as positions that will be a lot interesting because of their situation. I really feel the Raiders because that coach can really come in and put his hands on a lot of that team. And with the Bears, you just need a couple of pieces, and you might have you a for sure contender in the NFC North. So,
okay. Well, actually, I want to clear some things up. You are close. Actually, the Patriots are the ones who are projected to have the most cap space.
The most, okay.
Yeah.
I can't remember who was at the top. I just remember some people were saying the Raiders had some good money over there.
The Raiders are two. The Raiders are two, Commanders 3, Arizona 4, and Chicago 5. So,
gotcha. Okay.
When I look at it, obviously, a lot of people will look at the quarterback and stuff. So, I think for me, and if New England gets the coach that they want, wink, wink.
Rival.
I honestly think that would probably be one of the best situations because we know that if a Mike Vrabel comes to New England, he understands the standard that was set with New England. He'll probably add a little bit new things with it. There's also rumors talking about once again Josh McDaniels swinging around to be OC again. We know he's a very good OC. He's just not a good leader of men nor a head coach. And we know that the trenches are a problem for New England. Skill position is a problem. I think he could probably round some people up to fix that team in probably maybe 2 to 3 years based on how everything elevated. I mean, the Jets are not looking good to me, in my opinion. But I also will say Chicago because, Caleb Williams is there. They have the wide receivers. They have DeAndre Swift. The offensive line needs to be improved, and I think the defense can be better than what they actually played to be.
A few pieces here and there for Chicago. That's why I said, I mean, they have a few pieces, and that can make them really a contender in that NFC North for real.
And I'm going to be completely honest with you. I'll be very interested to see who would take the New Orleans Saints job because based on how salary cap wise they have been, and what they're going to do with Derek Carr. Spencer Rattler looked good in some spots. Chris Olave's been banged up with a concussion.
Concussions.
Defense is getting older. What are you going to do with some of these vets? Mario Davis,
Cam Jordan might be on his way out.
I'm curious to see who's willing to take that job. But I think those are, to me, if I had to say it, I'll probably say a tie between New England and the Chicago Bears job.
Yeah. I mean, and the only reason I say Raiders was for mine. Like I said, I feel like if they get the right coach in there, especially when you got Tom Brady kind of being like an advisor, that coach really can go in there and get that help, get what Tom kind of can see and different things like that. But they really will be able to put their footprint on that team because, again, they got pieces. Probably need to upgrade at the skill positions. Wide receiver, don't touch tight end. You got Brock. Probably a good running back. Fix up that line. You already got Max Crosby. Give him a partner to run with and kind of fix up that back end, that secondary, and then we can call it a day. You know what I'm saying? Like they have the system. The only issue with the Raiders is that you're competing in the AFC West. Division already tough. I mean, with the Broncos coming in the way the Broncos have came in, and Bo Nix playing the way that he's played for Sean Payton, that division can be very competitive as well. But again, the Raiders got to catch up to everybody else, to be honest with you, and I feel like they can.
Yeah, you're right. And we know Tom's there. He's definitely going to have an input on where they want to look at the quarterback position.
Mm-hmm. Very, very much so. So that's why I said I feel like that one for a head coach, and I'm not going to say easy, but it's going to be something that's going to be like, okay, we can agree on something, let alone you got Tom Brady coming in there making the picks. With that, like I said, the Bears are already set. The reason I didn't really say New England is because Robert Kraft, the way that he's kind of playing that organization in a sense, I'll be really scared for somebody to really go over there. But if this guy is Vrabel and he trusts Vrabel, hey, go ahead and pick him. We're gonna see how long of a leash you're gonna give him compared to somebody that you basically coined next in line after Bill Belichick. So
I also sense, the frustration with a couple of New England fans based on just them keep going with something familiar instead of going out and branching out. And I agree to that. Maybe sometimes you just want to see something from a different perspective. I see a lot of people going off about the Josh McDaniel thing. I mean, rightfully so. But, I mean, that's somebody he's very familiar with. We know when Josh is just an offensive coordinator, he's one of the best play callers in the league. But do not put this man as head coach. I don't even know why this dude had a second opportunity to be a head coach anyway.
Hey. They give a lot of people second chances. You see Rex Ryan trying to take back his old job with the New York Jets. So who's to say?
I don't see. I got to. Man. I don't even know what the Jets are going to do, bro. Jets about to lose a lot of people.
What was it? Jets, Jets.
The Jets are funny because you got Aaron Rodgers for basically 1 year because he missed last year.
First year. Mm-hmm.
You fired Robert Saleh, who was the defensive architect, and as soon as you fire him, your defense is completely out of whack. You trade for Devontae Adams, and he just went from a losing team to once again another losing team. I don't know what in the world they're going to look like next year.
Wasn't their fan base the one screaming and hollering and yelling and saying that they were back, that they were going to win, and they were going to the playoffs? Okay.
They was. I mean, I'm being completely honest. They were up here. shouted out, and I kind of saw the vision a bit until everything went off the rails.
Yep.
It just looks bad up there. Rodgers more likely going to retire. I don't know where Devontae Adams is going to go. Garrett Wilson talking about he want out. DJ Reed talking about he want out.
That's just a bad organization.
And then you got down in Miami, you got Tyreek Hill. He made his comments. So AFC East looking kind of a little bit shacked up. I ain't gonna lie.
Hey, look, I was putting it like this: if the Patriots can sit over here and get what they need, they'll be on top. Well, try to be on top, to be honest with you.
I think they can make a big boost. They just gotta get the trenches right. They gotta get the trenches right. Gotta get some skilled players. They legit only have. Dang, it's bad when I'm trying to piece together the wide receiver core.
They don't.
Kayshon Boutte. They got Pop Douglas.
I'm gonna hit you with a very famous saying that growing up that we used to say sometimes when somebody wants to know something that they don't know. I just hit them with the who, Mike Jones. Who was that? Who?
Yeah, that's nasty, man.
Who? But no, they again. I know some Patriots fans already kind of knew going in with Jacoby Brissett. I mean, he did give him some life in the beginning of the season, but that faltered within the rest. You put Drake out there, and then you see exactly why Drake was picked. And again, like I said, they got their quarterback. Just fix the trenches. You know what I'm saying? Find you a good wide receiver core. There's some good names out there too in free agency. I mean, if they can make a swing at T. Higgins, go ahead and try it. I mean, see what it is. I'm sorry, Washington Commanders fans. I know y'all kind of want him, but then y'all don't want him. So,
yeah, I want G5, man. I want Garrett Wilson.
Oh, you want Garrett? Okay, so yeah, all right. Because I know some of you.
I don't mind T. Higgins, but I'm starting to. The more I was watching the Bengals play down the stretch, I was getting more of a sense of like, yeah, I don't think he don't mind coming back to Cincinnati and still being the wide receiver too. And you see how much he complements Jamar Chase on the field with Joe Burrow. So, I mean, teams are going to throw wide receiver one money. Panthers, England, they're going to throw wide receiver one money. But it's up to him. Me personally, it was me. Unless they have some type of stability and they're a team that's like close to getting in the playoffs, that you need to go over the hump, then yeah, maybe I'll take that deal. But I can't believe I'm saying that. I got Joe Burrow. I got a lot of things about that brother, man. I'm just giving one shot.
Lord.
Yeah, but yeah, this is gonna be an interesting offseason for real though. But let's go ahead and tap in a little bit with college football because I did see a report. One of your babies.
He ain't my baby no more.
Ain't your baby no more. Okay, that makes sense. Well, Carson Beck withdrew his name from the NFL draft and is now in the transfer portal. And reports are coming out that Miami Hurricanes are stemming to be the favorite after having Cam Ward head to the NFL draft. So, Lady E, what do you think about this? Do you think this was a good decision for him taking thing out the draft? Do you think it was a good decision to transfer? And what do you think about the state of the Georgia quarterback room?
So, number one, I heard rumors was that he was getting money thrown at him. I'm not sure how true those rumors are, but he was getting quite a bit of money thrown at him. And if his draft grade is not where he wanted to be, because again, he was slated at the beginning of the season to be a first quarterback really taken off in the first round. So if that completely changed to where they got him as a day 2, day 3 guy, to be honest with you, he probably wants to come back and try to prove himself to be able to get that first round draft grade again. 2, his girlfriend plays basketball in Miami, so that's probably another reason why Miami is a favorite, because that, and on top of that, he's a Florida boy. He came from Jacksonville, Duval County, so he won the state champ for his school. I'm not gonna sit over here and mispronounce the name because they be getting on me over there in Florida, but I know it started with an M. And yeah. If y'all know Carson Beck history, you know what school he went to out there in Duval County. But he came in with a lot of high expectations this season. But what I like to tell people is to remember, this man was playing with Brock Bowers and Lab McConkey. Even though both of them weren't on the field at the same time, he had either or. So he had a safety blanket. This year, his wide receivers couldn't catch dog water, even if they wanted to be honest with you. Half his interceptions weren't even his fault. So again, OC didn't do him no justice at all either. He didn't trust him throwing the ball downfield after a couple of times with all them interceptions. So again, he's probably looking at it like that. I wish him nothing but the best. Half the Georgia fan base didn't want him to come back anyway. And the Georgia quarterback room, we don't know exactly. We heard some things about some of the other quarterbacks that we have in, like Pug. They saying that he's supposed to be good. We saw what Gunner can do, and again, you put a lot on Gunner's back to try to come in and win a playoff game like that. To be honest, let alone with the wide receivers like that he had.
I thought he looked good.
No, I'm not critiquing his play. I'm looking at my wide receivers. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm looking at it. You know what I mean? We had to play Notre Dame knew, hey, just stop the run and make him be a quarterback. And that's something that Gunner wasn't ready for with not having that many snaps. So again, we'll see. Might be a quarterback battle coming in the spring. We picked up some good prospects, but I wish him nothing but the best. I hope it's the right decision for him to make to come out next year. And if it's not, should have came out this year. Because I don't think after this year it's going to be that many quarterback openings like that moving into next year. So he'll be riding the bench rather than being a starter. So I'm just saying.
Yeah. I was a little shocked, but in also a sense, I think it is good for him if the grade is not where you want it to be in the NFL draft.
Mm-hmm.
Any shape or form to improve it, do that if you can. Because, I mean, quite frankly, when we talk about this class in the upcoming weeks, it's not particularly strong whatsoever, which is why I think agency will be very huge for a couple of teams. But his numbers definitely took a hit this year based on the things around him. Not having Brock Bowers, not having Lad McConkey, was definitely huge. The wide receivers that were currently on the team struggled with drops. I think Georgia led the country with drops, if I'm not mistaken.
We were number 1, 40 drops.
Yeah, number 1 with drops. And also didn't show up in bigger moments. And, quite frankly, this was not the same Georgia team that I'm used to seeing in the past couple of years.
Statistically, Kirby's worst team since he first took over in Georgia back in 2016.
Well, there you have it. Definitely was a different Georgia team that we're used in the past. But also another thing as well, the wide receiver spot also got hit with suspensions and arrests as well.
Kobe.
So it's I wish Carson Beck luck. I don't know if he does go to Miami. they're going to be missing probably a couple wide receivers. A couple of them, one of them already transferred. Xavier Estrepo, he's out of there. Samuel Brown, I think he's also a senior as well. Skill position will probably be different. Running game will be different as well. I believe both running backs are gone as well. So be interesting to see go to a little bit of a lesser stretch of a conference as the ACC, but you still have to deal with Clemson and for what we've seen at SMU.
And rumor has it, somebody literally said it that Ohio State may want them too. So I'm just giving you
they got debunked. They got debunked. But not that's gonna be interesting though. I wish because now once we get into this process of the draft, I think the joke is gonna be Shador or Cam or bust for a lot of teams.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
We're gonna see. I'm ready to see this.
All right, let's go ahead and talk about this game tonight and tomorrow. Let's go ahead and talk about the college football playoffs. Semifinals tonight is the Orange Bowl. We have Notre Dame taking on Penn State. And okay, yeah, because of Notre Dame.
I was down. I was booing them down, both of them.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think you put a mirror in front of both of these teams, they are actually similar in many aspects. Great defenses, solid special teams, wide receiver spot adequate, I would say. I mean, they have maybe a couple guys that can separate and stuff, but I think that's been the biggest problem with Notre Dame in years past. But this is probably, in my opinion, probably the best wide receiver room I've seen for them, I would say. But they still have some problems. I saw against in the Sugar Bowl. Penn State has some problems as well. Tyler Warren is basically their number one target on that team. Strong games with both running backs. And when it comes to quarterback play, Riley Leonard transferred from Duke. Started off slow in the season with the passing game, but the more reps and stuff he got, started to grow in Mike Denbrock's offense. And we see Drew Allard. We know he's very talented. There's talks about him, obviously, in future becoming a future top quarterback in the draft. And, you know, the stars are bright. And we're definitely going to see how he looks tonight because, I mean, the narrative against him will always be when he's playing against top-ranked defenses, he does not show up. He's very inaccurate and stuff like that. So it's going to be a good test for him to play against the number 2 defense in the country for Penn State. So what are you thought about this matchup tonight?
I'll put it to you like this. It's going to be a good game. I feel like it's going to be a back and forth battle. I don't think it's going to be a defensive game like how it was in the Sugar Bowl between Notre Dame and Georgia. I honestly would give the edge to Penn State. And the only reason why is because if we go back to them kind of how they were against Georgia, if it wasn't for Georgia having some of the mistakes that they had, like a kickoff return, trying to go in and get points and have a fumble, if we go back and kind of take those 2 spots away, the game would have been a little bit closer. So, and if Notre Dame, in my honest opinion, really gets their big break off of big plays like that, as we seen when they played Indiana, that 94 run from their running back that actually made a play. They really didn't even make an offensive play. Everything was a defensive stop, or it was because of something that the defense have done to where they didn't. They really didn't get an offensive play. So going against a defense like Penn State, and how I will say, again, they are on offense. Yeah, Notre Dame is going to get their stops, but it's not the same as who Notre Dame has seen or played when it comes down to offense, with compared to what Penn State can do. So I'm gonna give the edge to Penn State on that one, because again, if Notre Dame can't really make plays on offense and they have to rely on their defense or rely on big plays, this is not going to be a close game at all playing against Penn State. So definitely going to give the look to Penn State and actually give them the go ahead and actually make it to a national title game. They had an easy road this year. They didn't play Michigan.
Yeah, they did not play Michigan. They still played Ohio State. They still played Oregon, and they still lost in those games. I think the thing with this game is, I think it'll be somewhat of an easier matchup for Notre Dame in terms of passing, because I feel like Georgia's defensive front was terrorizing Notre Dame up front early, but because of the multiple mistakes by Georgia was made, which led to time of possession, they were able to grind it out and get the win. I think when I think about Penn State, and like I said, I think these teams are very similar, especially at the line of scrimmage. I'll probably lead with Notre Dame offensive line a little bit, probably based on bias and just based on what I've seen from them this year. But we know Penn State, they're a little bit lighter on defense front, but they have some athletes. We know Abdul Carter. We know with some of the other boys up there. I think if Notre Dame is able to form some type of passing game better than what they did against Georgia, I think they might have a shot, because I like the concepts they've run. And I think Riley Leonard's legs are obviously going to be the biggest X factor. If Penn State can't stop him running the football with Jeremiah Love and Pierce and Williams, I think it'll be a long day. But I still think this game is close because based on the talent. So I'm probably going to lead with Notre Dame by 3 points.
Okay. And see, and when you make mention of that, Georgia had a tough time this year with stopping running quarterback since we went into 8 overtimes with Georgia Tech, with Hines King. So when we
This
say
nasty,
like when I'm
this is nasty, but I think that was the reason why I kind of leave with Notre Dame against y'all.
Yeah. We don't but anyway. When it really comes down to it, I like the reason why I give the edge to Penn State, because let's be real, Genty literally had 130 something against Oregon. Boise State only lost by 3. So what Notre Dame did to not Notre Dame, Penn State did to Boise when it came down to it, and actually stopping the run and really making their quarterback be a quarterback. If one thing about that, when it comes down to Notre Dame's quarterback, if you force him to throw, it's not going to be a pretty game. If you let him kind of get out the pocket, move around, it gives them an opportunity. Like you said, it can rely on his legs. But one thing that I noticed when I was watching Penn State when they were playing against Boise was just like, they can really, if they need to and hone in, they can really stop the run. So I feel like that's a good strength of theirs. Passing wise, maybe not, because they gave Boise a little opportunity and gave them some life in that passing game. But when it came down to that run game, they made a stop. They were making good stops. I mean, they held this man to only 94 yards. So that's why I'm just kind of leaning a little bit. And again, Georgia's defensive line is probably on average 300 and about 30 pounds compared to what Notre Dame, compared to what they had played and when they even played Indiana. They was having trouble with Indiana, and their average is 255. I can give them the strength, but just to be real with you, if they start wearing and tearing down on that Notre Dame offensive line, it's going to be some problems. Because them lanes, if it is running plays, them lanes are going to break down, because they're not going to be able to sustain them, or it's going to be a lot of holding calls. So I see where you're going, though. I see where you're going, but if that's all Notre Dame has to rely on is really the running, and they're not really a good passing team, they're going to be in for a long day. Because again, Penn State is going to give up some passing. I'm gonna give them that.
Yeah,
but
I think Notre Dame will get some passing plays tonight, better than what they did against y'all.
Yeah,
but now I think is can Riley Leonard hit them when they matter, just like Allard hit them when they matter. Because Drew Allard is going against a better secondary than he saw the past 2 games,
and he is. I will give Notre Dame that, but I feel like Penn State's secret weapon is going to be their tight end, because they was killing boys with their tight end. They weren't even throwing passes to their wide receiver. It was tight end, tight end, tight end. So if they don't have nobody that can really defend that tight end, or they get a mismatch with him up against a linebacker, or even with a safety, I don't know if that's going to be a good day for him. Because that's literally Penn State's secret weapon is that tight end.
All right, so first split decision in the semifinals. I'm going with Notre Dame. E is going with Penn State. Let's go to Friday night. We're going to have the Cotton Bowl, which is Texas versus Ohio State.
I don't know if that Cotton Bowl is going to be played tomorrow night.
I heard it's snowing. Hey, look, I've seen the tweet.
Look, I'm not going to lie to you. My mama lives out there, and she literally said it wasn't looking too good earlier today, and seeing the videos, half that area is snowed in. So, and the thing is, they're going to refreeze tonight, and it's supposed to be some more precipitation tomorrow. I don't know how they're going to look by 7:30.
Ooh, boy. I don't know what they're going to do. Like, can't put it Sunday, man. I got to play all game all dog myself. I ain't trying to double sweat.
No, I'm not like I said, it dawned on me. I'm like, dang, the Cotton Bowl is in Dallas.
Right.
Like, it is in Dallas. So I'm like, right now they're snowed in their rooms. Luckily they're playing indoors, but look, we're gonna see. We're gonna see how that's gonna look, because the last time that snow happened during a big event was when the NBA All-Stars came, and then when the Super Bowl came with the Packers and the Steelers. So yeah, that was the last time that Dallas really got some snow during a major event. Oh no, the Final Four too as well. It snowed pretty good over there. So we'll see. Hopefully it does get played. Hopefully there's no delays, because that won't be a fair opportunity for those two teams. Whoever makes it out, that would not be a fair opportunity.
Yeah. So with this matchup, Ohio State has won the last 2 games with convincing victories. Meanwhile, Texas has beaten Clemson, and they were in a dogfight with Arizona State. How confident are you with Texas going up against Ohio State?
I'm not. Georgia beat them twice. And if you go in and look at the 2 times Georgia beat them and compare it to what you saw in the Sugar Bowl against Notre Dame, Georgia technically got Quentin Ewers' number, and we got that Texas team. Texas was supposed to have the best offensive line in college football. That really didn't really show consistent wise until the playoffs came. And even with their struggling against Arizona State, don't get me wrong. Shout out to Scattaboo. I like that name, Scattaboo. But shout out to that Arizona State team, because they gave Texas a very good run for their money, and especially for a team that was supposed to lose by 2 touchdowns. So, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I know Ohio State woke up for Oregon. I know for a fact they woke up for Oregon. I'm just hoping that they can wake up for Texas and know that you get Quentin Ewers out of his comfort zone and start putting pressure on that man. He start giving up picks. He start throwing. That offensive line ain't gonna hold up too much longer. And just watch out for Archie. They're gonna try to put him in as a game changer. Georgia stopped that twice. I think even Arizona State had an opportunity to try to stop that. So again, Texas can play. But I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think in this game that they're gonna be ready because again, they can jump out to the lead, they can come out and do whatever, but that defense can't hold up all 4 quarters. And then that offensive line starts struggling. So I'm gonna lean with Ohio State.
I think you said something that I feel like people have not acknowledged. I feel like Texas defense has been on the field for a very, very long time, and that has been going since the SEC championship game. 2 out of 3 games you have been in overtime. I think this defense, as talented they are, I can sense them being worn out. I think if Ohio does what they've been doing, getting pressure on the quarterback, simplify and creating pressure, running the football, putting the ball into your NFL wide receivers' hands, such as Jeremiah Smith and Ibuka and Travion Henderson and Quinshawn, you should be able to win this game convincingly to a lot of people. Now, I do think, based on what I have seen so far, I pray that the corners can hold up a bit against the RPO and we play clean because Igbu is definitely a handsy corner. Burke is definitely a handsy corner. And they will be tested by Golden, Wingo, and Isaiah Bond. So if Ohio State just do what they've been doing, getting pressure on the quarterback, stopping the run, and putting the ball in your playmaker's hands. I don't need Will Howard to be Superman. I understand a lot of people are talking about the revenge factor playing Texas. He's but just understand that you're literally on the best roster in college football.
Yeah.
You don't have to prove anything. Take care of the football, put it in their hands, and if nothing's open, slide down and don't take a bad sack.
Exactly. And Quinn Ewers takes a lot of bad sacks and throw picks.
So I got Ohio State winning.
No, I can definitely see that. I really can. I can definitely see that again. I like Sarkisian. I really do. I really didn't think Atlanta gave him a fair chance. I love his schemes, what he comes up with on offense, and I give him that. But I'm not saying that he's not the coach for Texas. I just don't feel like you have the person that you really want to help execute your game plan, but it help put Texas where they need to put it. Because again, they don't recruit that. They got the players. They got the squad. You're in the SEC now, so you've been battle tested. But I just think because of that battle test that they have been from there, like you said, I don't see their defense holding up because they let up too many big plays when it comes down to the second half. Even if it's just like different things, they get too many penalties in the secondary. They really do. And even a couple of holding calls on the offensive line, but not so much or are bad. But definitely they get a lot of penalties in that secondary, especially when it's in critical moments. So that just shows me a tired person when it comes down to it. So again, if Ohio State keeps the same game plan that they had when they played Oregon, keep that same intensity and play smart football, that game should be a very easy game for them, to be honest with you. I feel like with Texas, it's all about how can you control the time of possession as well, too. The longer you keep that defense out there, the better, because the offense will come out and they know that they have to make those big chunk plays to try to get back into the game. And that's when Ure is not his self. Quick 3 and outs. So yeah, I'm gonna lean towards Ohio State and pray that the game goes on as scheduled.
Yep. And we're going to head and wrap it up. We're going to go ahead and go with our wild card weekend picks. NFL playoffs are here, E. We finally made it.
No, they are. My team ain't in it, but it's okay to.
All right, let's go ahead with the first game of the weekend. It will be the Los Angeles Chargers taking on the Houston Texans. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I did not like what I've seen from Houston this year. I understand they have problems, but this Chargers team definitely arrived a little bit early in terms of what they had to reshape the roster. Wow. Harbaugh did a well job. They had changed the identity of this team. No longer they are throwing for 5K yards and losing games they should win. They have a run game, and Justin Herbert is still doing Justin Herbert things. So I like the Chargers in this matchup.
Against the Texans?
I do. I'm not. I don't know about Texans, man. I mean, CJ gonna have to prove me wrong this week.
I think a lot of pressure is gonna be. I think a lot of pressure is on CJ, to be honest with you. And I think that's just because of what we saw last year. You already know. A lot of people like to see you build and become better. The only thing about the Chargers that I just don't trust is that they have been inconsistent, and that's not on Jim. That's not on Jim. I just think because of the lack of wide receiver and then putting that pressure on Lad McConkey to be that guy. And in my honest opinion, I really never saw him as a number one nor number two in the league, to be honest. I really saw him as a slot receiver, old school slot receiver at that. Not the new age one, but the old school slot receivers. And the way they kind of got him playing, and with his injury history, I don't know about the Chargers. Again, overall, good squad. Defense looks great. Running back, the little wide receivers they do have. But I mean, if Texans defense can come together and actually really play and make the key stops, I think that can help CJ out a lot. To be honest with you, I just think that they just kind of got discombobulated with the injuries. Mixon being hurt. You got Tank now out. Nico was hurt. So again, I think that, and Stephon Diggs being hurt, I think that just kind of put a wrench in their plans with that. But if we can get the same intensity from the Texans, they will give the Chargers a run for their money. They really will. So I'm gonna go Texans by 3.
All right. The nightcap for Saturday, it will be the Pittsburgh Steelers versus Baltimore Ravens. Zay Flowers has been ruled out for this game. The last time they played in Baltimore, Pittsburgh made plenty of mistakes. Do I think they're a fraudulent team? Yes, I do. But this is, once again, a divisional game. Who knows Baltimore Ravens best than the Pittsburgh Steelers? And obviously, Lamar Jackson has run away with this season with his best year so far. The first quarterback with 4,000 yards passing and 900 yards rushing in the National Football League. I think that I'm still going to lean with Baltimore, despite not having Zay Flowers. So we interested to see how they manufacture some touches along with the other receiver spots with Rashad Bateman, the tight ends, and how they're going to get some type of electric passing game. They're going to have a passing game, but Zay Flowers is definitely huge. But I still have Baltimore.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and go with Baltimore. I really think that the Steelers, they can play. I'm gonna give them that. The Steelers have been showing that they can play. Arthur Smith has been doing some good things on their offense as far as play calling goes. But again, like you said, they did a little bit too much with them the last time, and I just feel like right now Todd Monken is in his bag. With that to lead Lamar with his rushing and his passing yards. Because again, we would have never thought we'll see Lamar with this many passing yards. Come on, it's Lamar Jackson. So I I really think that it's a lot more for the Baltimore Ravens, to be honest with you, compared to what the Steelers have, because I feel like they have to win something this year. Because again, to have Lamar Jackson, this is third MVP. That if he goes ahead and win it, it's his third MVP, and you don't have a Super Bowl to follow it. So again, we'll be back in this position again, asking questions. So I'm gonna go with Baltimore in this one.
I had to take a picture real quick. Okay, so Sunday matchups. We have the Denver Broncos heading to Orchard Park to take on the Buffalo Bills.
I'm not a fan of Buffalo.
I'm not a fan either.
But I feel like Bo Nix can have I feel like Bo Nix can definitely have a CJ Stroud-esque win against the Bills. So I'm gonna put my money on that and go with Denver. Sean Payton ain't no stranger to the playoffs, honey.
He's definitely not. I will keep my eye on this game. It's be interesting to see how Denver looks for the first time back in the playoffs. I'm going with the Bills, but I would not be shocked of an upset.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, I'm gonna go with them Broncos. They didn't what? How long have they been out of the playoffs for?
2015.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm going with the Broncos.
All right. 4:30 cap will be Green Bay Packers at the Philadelphia Eagles.
I'm gonna go with is Jalen Hurts still in concussion protocol?
He's still in concussion protocol, but he just practiced today. However, AJ Brown did not practice.
Because it's the NFC East, and we played y'all this year, and we beat the Eagles. Give me Green Bay.
I know a lot of people talking about, Christian Watson not playing. He is also a part of the offense because he's a deep threat. But the last time Philly played Green Bay, he wasn't the one killing them. It was Jaden Reed. Jaden Reed was.
Does it put a damper in their plans? Yes, but
it put a damper in plans. But I don't know. I think it's something about watching Green Bay play last year. I would not be shocked if Philly becomes this year's Dallas. Not a blowout, I'll say, but be caught off guard at the adjustments that Green Bay made. I'm kind of worried about Jordan Love's hand from the injury and stuff. But if he's able to play, I think he's good. Obviously, NFC East, I hate the Eagles. I'm going to root for Green Bay. But if I was to pick logically, I'll probably pick Philadelphia. But I'm going with Green Bay because I hate Philadelphia.
Cheeseheads. Cheeseheads.
The Sunday night nightcap will be the Washington Commanders, my Washington Commanders, against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
What y'all, send Tampa Bay back home. We ain't even got to discuss that game. Just send them back home.
I think Washington is obviously a way much different team than since week one. That was Jay Daniels' first game. Jaden has seen a lot of NFL defenses. One of the best NFL quarterbacks against the blitz. Jaden's legs will be huge. They're definitely going to have some things. Marshawn Lattimore plays when we playing this Sunday. Marshawn versus Mike Evans. I'm going to be honest with you, man. I'm much more confident in this second round matchup. I'm going to take Washington to win their first playoff game since 2005.
Yeah, send them back home. Send them Pirates back home.
And the last game, which will be on Monday, depending on the situation going on, and we're praying for everybody who's in the Los Angeles area and California.
For real.
If the game will not be played in LA, it will be moved to State Farm Arena in Arizona. We have the Minnesota Vikings taking on the Rams. This is probably one of my favorite matchups of the weekend. A rematch.
Give me the Rams.
Oh, you're taking the Rams. Ooh.
Taking the Rams. I don't trust Sam Darnold, and I don't think Sam Darnold knows how to play in the playoffs. So give me the Rams.
Ooh.
That Georgia boy, Matthew Stafford. They're only favored. The Vikings are only favored by 2, so I'm just giving that heads up. Give me the Rams.
Dog. The only favored by 2. Man. I ain't gonna lie though. I felt like Sunday's game against Detroit was more about Detroit than Sam Darnold on that. Look at the far end to Micah Parsons talking to Abdul Carter. That's dope. That's dope, right? But oh man, I don't know, man. You know what? I'm gonna take the Rams. I'm gonna take the Rams, man.
They only 2. It's only 2. That means a safety.
And that's what beat them last time. Like, that's a tough matchup. I'm probably gonna leave with the Rams.
Go with the Rams. Just go with the Rams. It's okay. Come to the side. Come to the light. Come to the light.
All right, that's all we have for y'all tonight, man. Unfortunately, I hate that C. Henry wasn't able to make it up here. But we'll definitely have him tweet out his picks and what he thinks about the game tonight, coming up in a couple of minutes, and the game tomorrow night and WildCard weekend. But it's definitely good to see all of you lovely 141 faces back on Enter the Lab podcast. Good to see my family again. Y'all stay tuned, man. We'll be back for the divisional round, and we'll be back for the recap the college football semifinals and get ready for the championship.
Yeah, like I said, national championship. You got the East and West Shrine Bowl. That's actually happening in Dallas this year. And then you got the Reese's Bowl. So definitely we're going to be back with more to talk about, to get all of that, to get everybody with their draft. So make sure you get your boards together, follow along, because we're also having some special guests to talk about the draft as well. So stay tuned. We getting first eye view at some of these players. We're bringing on good people to get first eye view of some of these players. So y'all get ready.
Most definitely. With that being said, it is your boy DT. We got Lady E, C. Henry out there somewhere. What it do? This is Enter the Lab podcast presented by Red Zone DC Media. We'll catch you guys next Thursday to recap everything NFL and college football. Y'all have a safe night.